Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Teng'a here. And today I'm doing two things very differently. One, I'm shooting this obviously from my phone, which allows me to be a little bit more mobile and take care of other things while I'm dealing with recording this. Second thing is today I am going to be attempting my hand at a audio horror story. So let's begin, shall we? If you need to, pull up a campfire GIF or whatever else you feel necessary to bring the experience home to you. So, and again, this is coming unscripted, so pardon me if this turns out absolutely crap compared to what my scripted videos do. And quit trying to look at the picture and just go with it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this story begins. One day, a swordsmith, searching for cheaper sources for his raw steel, finds a source with an unbelievable 25% cheaper preserved materials than he could get through his normal distributors. So our swordsmith decides to go with this and see how the steel quality holds up. So, pays for the first shipment. It arrives. But instead of the normal bars and sheets and ingots that he is used to receiving them. Sorry about this. Anyways, back to the story. Instead of the sheets and ingots and other shaped steel bits that he normally receives, he receives it in odd shaped chunks, figuring that this is probably just this new distributor has yet to discover the method of shipping through ingots and whatnot. So, our intrepid swordsmith decides to go with it. He starts forging his decorative and collectible swords, knives, axes, and whatnots, and then begins to sell them. All is well for weeks, and perhaps even months. Then he begins to hear tales from across his customer base that they are beginning to suffer accidents, illnesses, and even freak deaths. A few he dismisses. He gets more cautious as the number rises and rises, until he realizes that all the customers receive steel from that shipment. Then he just ends up, his own family falls victim to the same diseases and accidents that are befalling his customers. So he begins to look into it, and he finds that his new distributor was not on the level. It turns out that this distributor had stolen a statue. It could find no one to buy the statue in its whole state. So he figures he might as well chop it, sell it in chunks, as scrap. Perhaps get at least something out of his crime. Our intrepid and ill-fated swordsmith then finds out the origin of the statue. It turns out that this statue that he has received, whose chunks he has received, that is, holds a legend of it being not just a statue, but being the frozen stiff corpse of some local godchild gone wrong. A being that turned demonic and was destroying their own people. It's the people, and befalling them with injuries, had cursed this godchild to live as a statue until all time runs out. And that when the thief broke the spits and the swordsmith forged them, he released the spirit into the people who possessed the chunks. Lo and behold, our intrepid swordsmith attempts to retrieve the wares, but cannot do so. So disaster keeps befalling and befalling. Now I leave this to you, YouTube. How would you end it? I will not. And with that, you can tell me down below what you think of this short story, this horror story. And you can leave it in the comments. Also, perhaps one you heard yourself. And with that, I am out.